So you've been in the same forum for many years and you're looking at ways to try and inject brand new energy into your forum experience. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how. When I joined EO over 20 years ago, I joined a forum and I stayed with that same forum for over 15 years. I got to know my forum members intimately. I got to know everything about them, about their family, about their business, about their personal life, and they got to know everything about me. But sometimes over that length of time, the value within forum can start to drop. As people believe they know everything about each other, the invigoration of that new member energy starts to wane. When I'm asked to go out to forums and speak to tenured forums to try and reinvigorate that energy, the first question I always ask is, why are you together? The very common answer I get is, we like each other. We've been through so much together. We have a lot of history. We know each other really well, but the value is not quite as much as it used to be. And what I normally suggest then is to try and reinvigorate the forum by reinvigorating the new member energy. Now, if you can invite a brand new member into your forum, that's the best way to do it. But obviously, a lot of the tenured members and a lot of the tenured forums are full. So I say that doesn't necessarily mean you can't bring that new member energy into the forum experience. The first thing you would normally do if you welcome a new member into your forum is you do lifelines. Obviously, with the tenured members, we've all done our lifelines. We know everything about each other. What I suggest then is you do a lifeline where you can only talk about things in your life that you haven't shared with the forum yet. Usually when people sit down long enough, they start to remember things that they'd forgotten, that they haven't even told the forum. And that can reinvigorate your lifelines, as long as you focus on talking about things you haven't spoken about. The next thing I get is, Rod, we've got nothing. We've been open about our lifelines. Okay, let's change up your lifeline. Instead of talking about your lifeline from birth to today, let's have a lifeline from today to your death. Let's really talk about where you want to be in the future. What age you want to retire, what you want to do as you're leading up to it, when are you going to sell your business, and so on. Start to get to know each other from the future perspective rather than just looking at the past. The next thing you should do is have a look at your constitution from a new member's perspective. Are there things in your constitution that you just do because you always have? Can you explain what you do to a new member? And does it make sense to the new member of today? What I've also suggested is forum mashups. Now, I'm not suggesting you get all forums together and have a forum experience all together. I've found in my experience sometimes that's really hard to pull together because a group of people have to truly trust each other to have that forum experience. I know some tenured forums and new forums have forums separate, then come back to have dinner together. But I've also suggested to other people in the past is when they actually go out to a forum, they could learn what others are doing. Perhaps you could send your moderator to a brand new forum or another forum and just sit in on forum. Just listen to forum. Of course you have to maintain confidentiality. Of course you have to have a level of trust, I know. But it's far easier to get that level of trust with one person than the whole forum getting together. And sometimes having an outside forum experience allows that member to bring in new ideas to the tenured forum. And you can actually start to change things because you don't know what you don't know. Now, let's say you've done all the actual new member energy. Let's say that you've gone through all of the process. I always have one final question for the forum. Should you stay together? Is this forum experience going to give you the value that you need? Or is it just comfortable? Do you feel like breaking up the forum would be a betrayal? Or are you actually speaking about this challenge? I always recommend to tenured forums to put into their yearly review. Are we going to come back together for another year? That commitment to each other each year. Not only does that give you the ability to commit to each other, but it also gives you the ability to have that conversation. Because believe me, when I left my tenured forum, it was the hardest thing I have ever done. It was like I was divorcing a family member. I was leaving, I was abandoning them. But the thing was, their journey was different from mine, and I had to take a different path. But we're still close friends because of all the history. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, maybe send this video off to your forum mates and you can start that conversation in your forum. I'll put a couple of videos around me here just in case you're interested, and as always, I'll see you very soon in the next video.